Foxy is the massive W. Really need to nerf cannons? Yeah, I wouldn't blame you for nerfing them a little bit. I don't want them to be completely killed so they're not, like, useful anymore, but setups have become extremely reliant on cannons now, so I wouldn't be too sad to see them nerfed a little bit. I don't know how we'd go about that. Yeah, that's something that I'm trying to think about. I was wondering if cannons were going to get touched at all, like if you were going to nerf cannons and colliders at all. I've been thinking about how something like that might be done. The only nerf I can see right now is making Voided Ore Omega dense, where you can't use cannons with it anymore. Yeah, that would probably help with like the collider lines for double void lines. I mean, Void Drive is already getting nerfed anyway, so you probably won't be able to do more than one void line anyway. I don't see how making ores dense from the Void Drive really helps with the rest of the cannons and like the upgrader lines and all that. Yeah, see, the whole problem is like the entire purpose of cannons is to launch ores so that you can use stuff like stars. And you can't really take away that functionality from them, because then you'd have to make some kind of change to stars. You can't really get rid of the launching functionality. I guess you could make it less strong, but people are still going to be able to use it then and abuse it to get speed. And then nerfing the Void Drive so that ores are denser. I guess that could help a little bit, but I don't see it really doing all that much. Yeah, I do kind of agree with that too. I do think that cannons are at a level of skill and a little bit more depth to building setups. Like, you can just throw down random upgraders and put stuff down everywhere, or if you know what you're doing a little bit better, you can pull out some cannons. You can pull out some cannons, place your upgraders a little bit more smart, get some really fast upgrader lines. So I do kind of like that element of it. President, I don't agree with the ability to speedrun tons of lives quickly. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say how to exactly balance that. A lot of what happens in Reincarnation is really going to depend on how good the superstitious items are, I think. Like, honestly, changing the rebirth price isn't even going to slow things down that much. Unless cannons get nerfed and, like, the whole bunch of stuff else. Like, if the superstitious items are really good, which I expect them to be pretty solid, at least. But assuming at least some of them are, like, really good upgraders, I feel like speeds are going to be not too much slowed down. Forgot that this is still Brez's game, and if he has a suggestion or vision for it, then of course we should listen to him still. Yeah, that is true. If he is of the mindset that people shouldn't be able to rebirth this quickly, then that should definitely be taken into account. And like, unless you start taking some of these upgraders and really nerfing them down, taking a bunch of the existing upgraders and nerfing them even more, because I know a bunch of nerfs are coming in Reincarnation, but you would need to do even more to like significantly slow down the speeds that people are getting right now. Cannons themselves probably can't really face a nerf. Would likely have to be changes to other items. Yeah, probably. I see other changes definitely happening. Like, if you're really serious about slowing things down by a significant amount, then you're gonna have to do some nerfing of a lot of items, like Sarbamba and stuff. Like a bunch of the really good upgraders that you've recently added. The set price still that I think is at 87k? Yeah, it's somewhere around there. I know Talon told me that you're still gonna be able to skip 20 at any point. I remember that. At that type of life, to skip 20 lives, you need to have a Centillion setup. That is true, but getting Centillions, especially with like a lot of the recent stuff added, Centillions isn't that hard anymore. So I don't know how it's gonna scale yet. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people do once it comes out. But I think for the people who are past that cap, I don't know, I really can't say too much until the update actually comes out. May not be hard yet, but to rebirth quickly. It's really just gonna depend on how good the superstitious items are and how well they work, I think. No, for a fact there's no quick Centillion setup. I mean, not at the same speed as what people are getting right now, no. Like, you can't get Centillions in 30 seconds, I don't think. That's not gonna be doable, at least right away. People might find a way somehow if they find some, like, broken thing to exploit. I wouldn't be surprised if people do, but I mean, it's still definitely possible to get a fast Centillion setup. Not to the same extent, but, like, I made a Centillion setup that was, like, 3 minutes or something, like, sub 3 minutes. And that wasn't using, like, any of the superstitious or anything. That was using some old techniques, so it's a little bit outdated and slow now. You could probably speed that up even more. Get like a 2-minute 30 Centillion setup or something, maybe. A lot of the superstitious items upgraders at least have a particular usage that requires more care to. No, 2 of the upgraders have some major hazard to them. require thought just to incorporate into a setup. That slightly worries me, but also slightly excites me. Like, it's gonna depend on what the actual special effect is, how they're gonna need to be used. I don't know, like, if the superstitious items are too complicated or too, like, annoying to use, then they're just gonna end up being useless items. I already know one of them is Dreydons. I do know about the Dreydons. And, see, that's why I'm a little bit worried, because the Dreydons, at least right now, is not very good. I mean, obviously, at this very moment, it doesn't work, but pre having its functionality taken away, it wasn't very good. Maybe it'll be better after the price change and all that. I don't know. Couldn't upgrade ore still a ton. The only downside to it is the lightning which is applied. Before its functionality was taken away, it wasn't very good because of the time that it took to upgrade. Like, the time that it took to get the actual upgrade and apply it, where it could kill ore, wasn't worth the actual amount it was upgrading by. Honestly, it wasn't worth it when it upgraded to trillions either, in fast revert setups. Even then, to allow up to 5 usages with Dreydon's Gauntlet, that's powerful. Yeah, that is true. It's probably gonna change too once things slow down a little bit when Reincarnation comes out. You're gonna need to make more money, so the Dreydon will probably step up in usefulness a little bit. The usage of Garg Mine will definitely expand. Oh yeah, I expect Garg Mine to take place as, like, the main mine after the update. Like, not even taking into account the changes that it's gonna be getting. I think that Garg Mine is just gonna be the mine. Because I think Void Star is also gonna be the meta, so just the higher ore value alone. Yeah, I remember the Garg Core. That'll be interesting to see how that works. Garg Core is not a furnace, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Has an ability that makes Garg even more viable, though. That'll be interesting to see what it does. Yeah, I'm still excited for Reincarnation, though, and to see all the changes and the new strategies and metas that are found. Excited to, like, get all the superstitious stuff going as well. It'll be fun to mess around with it. I'm hoping things don't slow down too much as well, because as a player, from my perspective, I do enjoy being able to rebirth pretty quickly. Like, having to sit and wait around for 5 minutes for a setup to work just isn't as fun as being able to rebirth quicker. But I don't know, I personally hope that things don't slow down too much. I do understand why you would want to slow things down and make it so that 30-second setups aren't possible, but just scary how Foxy's talking about how hard the items to use. What if they're gonna be too annoying to use? See, that's the thing that I'm worried about. I mean, if they are, then the community, I'm sure, will let them know and they'll get changed. That's what I was slightly worried about, though, and I'm hoping that they're not too annoying to use and they just have, like, some gimmick to them that makes them have a very specific use case, or something. I don't know. Not necessarily annoying, just a downside, but a lot of power in return. Be interesting to see what those downsides are and how they actually affect setups. Dastrophy, for example, requires Void Drive to be forged, but Dastrophy functions similarly. It's a Tesla, but it applies a death clock to the ore. That seems really interesting, actually. That seems very interesting. That actually sounds like a pretty cool upgrader. Probably one of the hardest superstitious items to come by given Void Drive is required. Required as in not consume, just have. I figured that as well, but that actually sounds like a really cool upgrader. I like the sound of that. Like having another Tesla, but you can only use, like, your most powerful upgraders after or something. I'm actually quite excited for that one now. Well, that's a confirmed effect for Dastrophy. I don't know if Foxy has publicly said that before, but there you go. If you guys were curious, there's what one of the new items is gonna do, one of the new superstitious. Wiki writers, take note. Take note, Wiki boys. You got new info on the Dastrophy, maybe. Foxy, come blow me up. Yeah, that's understand. I forgot about that. I forgot that. Oh, I didn't even get launched. I just hit the tree. Oh, Foxy, be gone now. Well, thank you for sticking around for a little bit, Foxy, and talking about some of the new stuff coming. Discussing all of the new interesting reincarnation things that'll be happening.